Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? We back for another one. It's your boys from the Word on the Ave, but this week we doing our sports segment. So we are live on the Grid Sports Media Network via Facebook. So welcome everybody to the show. Those of you that will catch us on the replay, thank you for tuning in. So fellas, let's get to it. Uh, Last night was the airing of The Last Dance, the documentary of the last season of the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls Scottie Pippen era. Uh, Basically, the last year that they won a championship. Last year, the Chicago Bulls won a championship, and last night they aired the first two episodes of a basically a 10-part series. So we got the first two episodes. Uh, man, the internet was blowing up last night. Twitter was blowing up. Facebook was blowing up. If it was a social media site, it was blowing up. Everybody was talking about it. The conversation has continued today. So we gotta give our 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? If you want to give us some change back, we'll always take some change back. So yeah, let's get to it, man. I know Randy, I know you said you didn't have a chance to catch it yet, but I know as an avid Chicago Bulls fan, you'll have some commentary to provide.
Yes,
Uh
sir.
Corey, I know you and I tuned in last night. You know what I'm saying? I caught both episodes. I watched it on the ESPN because they had the uncensored version. Uh,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
watch the
correct. Watch.
family friendly version.
Yeah,
So man, I think one of the things that I don't want to start this off negative, and I don't think this is negative, but I think one of the things that kind of annoyed me about it was the back and forth from the chronological time perspective. Like there was parts of it where I felt like okay, it made sense to kind of go back and then go forward, but I just kind of felt like they could have did a better job of maybe doing it a little bit more chronologically. The back and forth was just I didn't understand most of it. I understood a little bit of it, but I didn't understand most of it. What did you think about that?
yeah, man. It was more that was more like it was they were milking. 'Cause this is a 10 episode thing, man. I don't think you trying to squeeze a lot, man. There's only so much you can get off, especially off of one season, man. For 10 episodes, so that's 10 hour long episodes. So you talking about 11 hours, man. So they were just milking this. They were milking this shit. But same time, you had to go back, see the players, see the. I guess when you look at it from a storytelling aspect, it's basically it's about how they got there. It's as if they had a movie. You watching the movie and the movie starts out with them, on their last journey or some shit like that. And then it starts, and then it's like, well, but before we start, and then it pauses, and then let's take it back, 15 years
Mm-hmm.
or something. So it did that, gave everybody reintroduce everybody, and Michael Jordan gave a little retrospective, man. So I didn't have a problem with it, man. I liked it. I actually preferred that they did that. I wanted everybody to see that again for a lot of youngsters haven't seen that, especially when it comes to his rookie season, his actual highlights, and I know one of the arguments with LeBron, and the LeBron haters came out the woodwork. They like to say, Jordan lost to the Celtics. Jordan lost in the playoffs. Like Jordan made the playoffs his first 2 years. That's the
Facts.
difference.
Yep.
LeBron didn't even make the playoffs, but they get to see all, man. They get to see all of that, man. You got to see Scotty. Got to see, man. Scotty, how he came up. So, man, I didn't have a problem with it. Like I said, they got a lot that they got to fit in, man. There's only so much you can do in 10 episodes. So we'll see what.
Hmm. Yeah. What was your biggest takeaway? What was your biggest takeaway from the first two episodes?
Well, I didn't learn anything new. It's pretty much everything I knew. I didn't know about Scotty's upbringing, but I think that's probably the only thing only thing new. I've learned. I'm a big sports fan, man, and I've learned about the Bulls. I was a huge Michael Jordan fan back in the day, man. Lakers fan always, but Michael Jordan was my guy, man. Michael Jordan was my guy, so man, I knew everything. I followed the Bulls, man, from time he came back from '95 to '98. So I saw those last three championships. But even learning, even with the advent of the internet and everything, you got to learn more of the backstories and things like that. So it's stuff that I already knew. Like I knew about the whole thing with Jerry Krause and him saying crazy shit to Phil, talking about it's gonna be his last season and everything. And y'all gonna see more where as the episodes go on, y'all gonna see why Jerry Krause is a nutcase. Why he's a nutcase, because y'all gonna see where this is gonna go and why he's you'll see where it goes. He told Phil this is his final season, but you'll see where it goes, man. And yeah, I didn't learn anything. It wasn't nothing new. It was, like I said, just introducing everybody. I already know about Jordan's upbringing. I read books as a child. I know about his battles with his brother Ron and everything. So like I say, man, I like I say, hey, I know Portland. I know this. I know they still sick, man. I know they still live
Yeah,
picking Sam Bowie, man. Houston,
yeah,
you can live with that because you got two rings out of a king, but man, Sam Bowie, man, y'all fucked that one up, man.
yeah. I mean, but I mean, it makes sense. Here, it makes sense though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, why in today's basketball, uh, if they would have did it all over again with positionless basketball, I'm positive they would have took Jordan. But back then, I mean, you didn't need Jordan. You had Clyde, and they played the same position. So
Yeah, yeah,
it wasn't about uh it was just a different era of basketball. So I mean, I understand why they did what they did, but I mean, yes, it is still incredibly laughable. I mean, I got a verse in a song I did where I teased Portland about it. So yes, it is extremely laughable. I think the biggest takeaway for me is I knew that there was uh, friction between the front office and the players. I didn't know
yeah,
it was that. I didn't know it was that deep. Like I knew there was friction, but I didn't know it ran that
Mm-hmm.
deep. Because I knew about the Scottie Pippen. I think that's really one of the first times that we really saw. At least one of the first times that I saw a player hold out. You know. For their own personal reasons. That was one of the first times that I saw it exercise. I mean, we knew that he was hurt, but we also knew that it was deeper than that. But I had no idea that it was that. I mean, they sitting there, they was busting on Jerry Krause.
man,
You know
right
what
in
I'm
front of
saying?
the
Just
face. Yeah,
yeah, with the cameras rolling, just being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't know it was that deep. And I'm sure as we get further into the series, I'm sure it'll just get worse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I think I tell you an interesting part is, and we talk about this in sports all the time, where we talk about uh, ownership and front office versus the players.
yeah.
And you got to give Jerry Krause credit where credit's due. He went out, of course, I mean, got Jordan, you know what I'm saying? And he went out and,
Scottie Pippen,
he scouted Pippen. You know what I'm saying? He scouted Scottie Pippen. You know what I'm saying? Horace Grant.
Horace Grant. Yep.
And he knew how to he understood how to put pieces together. And there was an interview after that Steve Kerr gave where he said that that's how he got his blueprint on the right moves to make for his team. You know what I'm saying? Just, his experience, on the second Bulls three-peat. And so I thought that was pretty interesting, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, you gotta give Jerry Krause credit, credit's due, but you know, I mean, no Jordan, no titles. I do like what Jordan said. I don't think we've ever heard Jordan say this. At least I've never heard him say it. but he said without Scotty, I don't think we three-peat either time. You know, he gave a lot of kudos and has a lot of respect for Scottie Pippen as a player. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was a cool little nod. You know what I'm saying, for him to show that much love to Scotty like he did. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
No,
love.
no play. Yeah, that's, you got to. And tell somebody. Like, let them know. Like, no player's ever done it. I don't think we can name one player that's ever done it alone. I mean, even when you look at
Nope.
the Celtics teams, of course, Bird's going to get the recognition. You look at the Lakers teams, you got Magic, even Kareem, but he goes deeper than that. You look at the Celtics teams. I mean, they were so deep from Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Walton, Danny Ainge, and saying Dennis Johnson, all those guys
Uh-huh.
from the Lakers, man. From they like I said, they had Michael Cooper, Byron Scott. I'm saying, just a stacked team, man. Just a stacked team.
Uh-huh.
Even going back further, you can't name one team where somebody did it by themselves. Kareem in Milwaukee. He had the big O with him. Uh,
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Russell. Look how stacked those Boston teams were. That's why
Oh
that's
man,
why
yeah,
Chamberlain couldn't get past. Chamberlain and
yeah.
Baylor they couldn't get past it because
He's rolling with Cozy,
yeah. Well,
rolling
not
with
Chamberlain and
Cozy.
Baylor, but Jerry West and Baylor. But then saying Chamberlain and his Philadelphia Warriors squad. So it's always LeBron. LeBron needed D Wade, Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving. Kobe had Gasol. Well, you had Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying, the key guys like I'm
Andrew
saying,
Bynum.
Andrew
Yep.
Bynum playing tough. So it's always got to give it up, man. And yeah, man. Yeah, I think this is the first time. Now, first thing I've heard, first time that I've heard, one thing that I did take away was when Jordan said that he did feel like Scotty was making a selfish move by
Mm-hmm.
holding out. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that they had a personal kind of. Can we call it a rift? I don't think Jordan and Scotty had a. It wasn't big rift. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
They had
I
a
don't
couple
think.
of words. I know Scotty had something. He said that they'll probably show. I don't know if they didn't show it on these episodes, but y'all gonna see it if they show it. They're pretty sure they will because old school b-ball is the one that's running most of the clips. Old school b-ball. I've been following them for years, and that's where I got a lot of the clips from. For the for this page of in the early when I use my old stuff, and I always credit old school b-ball. So man, it's a big come up for him, man. But yeah, I think they'll show that. You'll see kind of the little dig Scotty's gonna take at Jordan in the media, but it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be unless they got some more on more footage that I haven't seen. But it's not gonna be too incendiary, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, Jordan was all about winning. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan just wanted to win. So, you know, I think selfish. I think selfishly he was like, I'm getting my money. You know what I'm saying? I'm a global icon. This, that, and the third. But like, let's get these titles. You know what I'm saying? And so he didn't. He, of course, he wasn't for anybody that was a part of those championship years to you know hold out for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Outside of injury. You know what I'm saying? To prevent them from winning another title. So um, I I mean, it like in today's sport, nobody would knock Scotty. Like nobody would knock Scotty. You know what I'm saying? But I think back then it was more of a hey man, you know what I'm saying? We trying to ball out as a squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to be loyal to each other because, at the end of the day, I think a lot of the players felt like a lot of the superstar players felt like they weren't getting their just due from a financial perspective at that time. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, it was kind of, let's just band together and win. And that was the bottom line for Jordan. Like, play a role and win. Let's
Yeah,
win. You know what I'm saying? And so uh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I definitely completely understand both sides. I completely understand both sides. Scotty wanted the security, so he signed a 7-year deal. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Where maybe he
it
could
was
have signed
18
for less
million.
years and got more money.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted the security to take care of his family at that time. You know what I'm saying? So,
And you can't
I
fault him for
mean,
that.
Yeah,
it is what it
18 million
is.
ain't nothing to sneeze at. But yeah, he could, it was hard to anticipate. You know what I'm saying? That Michael Jordan took the NBA in the '90s, man. He took it to a whole nother level, man.
Mm-hmm.
Especially and then with the way that it was paired up. See, uh, a lot of people, man, they'll just you'll never get that nostalgic feeling again, man. Like you remember like the NBA on NBC and all of that, and they used to have the storylines, the way that was set up and everything. It made it was box office, especially every Sunday, man. It was big time. So you got that element to it, and then with the star power, the success of Michael Jordan, and then he played, and then it was basically Jordan versus the rest of the league was like the villains, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
he had, man, there was so much competition. I mean, the Barclays, the Elijah Ones, the Paytons, New York Nick, Ewan and them. I mean, just all up and down, man. Uh, so you had that and shoot, and all that revenue skyrocketed like that. So you looking like, man, he ended up being the sixth highest paid player on the team, man. Luke Longley was making more than Scottie Pippen, man.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
tragic. That's some
Yeah.
tragic shit right there, but that's the nature of the business. What you got to pay attention to your money, you know what I'm saying? And you taking a gamble, it's always gonna be a gamble because you never know the trajectory. Like I said, there's like a lot of players today. Steph Curry, shit, Steph while the Warriors was winning those championships, man. Steph Curry wasn't making nothing but what, like 12 million a year or something?
He wasn't even making that. I think it was closer to like 10.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So he was still running off that old contract, so
Yeah.
with all those, and they still able to make moves, man. It's interesting. I wonder if they're gonna talk about, how MJ his final year, man. Salary cap was about, I think, about 30 million per team in '98. Think about how much it is now, and 200 million and stuff like that. 30 million, so how the revenue is skyrocketed. Uh, Jordan, Jordan had to get 30 million. Hopefully, I don't know if they're going to touch on that, but I don't think they did because they started getting into the season. They started getting into the season. They're talking about the season. What a lot of people don't know, Jordan made 30 million that year, and the salary cap was 30 million. So that'd be equivalent to LeBron making about 200 million in 1 year
Mm-hmm.
in today's game. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that and because what they had to do, I think Jordan's actual salary cap was about like 13 million or something like that, 13 to 15 million. And then they had to, what I'm saying, they use some of that under the table money and other endorsements and things like that to help get Stam keep him in Chicago because he was thinking about going to the New York Knicks, man. So
Mm-hmm.
sure, man. Yeah, you get to see, man. You get to see the grind, though, man. You get to see the grind, and how Jordan would, man, refuse to lose. They struggled the first part of that season. I mean, outside of Tony Kukoc, where was you gonna get consistent offense from that team? They were struggling to hit 100 points, which I love. I just wish we were still in an era like that, man. I liked it when 100 points was something. You know what I'm saying? And if you scored 120, that mean you had a hot night. Now they scoring 120 and they sleep now.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it then.
Yeah.
Shit, man. Man, they were struggling. Outside of that, who else were you going to get the offense from? You talking about outside of Tony Kukoc, Dennis Rodman's not offensive.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
Judd Bushler, Randy Brown. Randy Brown would get hot off the bench. Guys, Ron Harper. A lot of these guys were defensive guys.
Well, Ron Harper had. I mean, he wasn't physically able at that point anymore
Yeah.
because Ron Harper Ron Harper he was with. I think he's when he was with the Cavs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Was he
yeah.
with the Cavs?
Yeah, he's with the Cavs. He
Ron
their
Harper
leading
was putting
scorer.
up. he put up about 20, 25 games.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. He's
You know
that
what I'm
leading
saying? But
scorer.
them knees started to wear on him. Them knees started to wear on him, man. So
But
hey,
he
Randy,
was. Huh?
Randy. So as a average, because you still a damn Chicago Bulls fan, bless your
Yes, sir.
heart. You know what I'm saying? So as a avid, a lifetime Chicago
Mm-hmm.
Bulls fan, like uh and I know you were younger back then, but I mean, we were still locked into the sport even as kids, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like what do you remember? You know what I'm saying? Do you remember anything about that time period?
Uh, honestly, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I do. Nah, truthfully, I don't. I just remember just the the
Remember Ben
times.
Gordon?
You said what? I just remember the times with my
Oh, you
pops. That
remember
was
Ben
it.
Gordon?
Oh, bag. Ben Gordon was a bad
Eddie
motherfucker.
Curry and all.
Ben Gore was a bad motherfucker, even though he was a little bit older back then. But that was bad. That was a bad man. That was a bad man. He was like low key. Truthfully, he was like the
Yeah.
the Lou Williams of that time.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
kind of Ben
was.
Gordon, he kind of was. He kind of was.
You playing Lou Williams? Lou Williams was there then, wasn't he? And Lou Williams came down. He said Lou Williams at that time. Like, where was Lou Williams at? I think Lou Williams came probably a couple years after that.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
did get hot though, man. But he didn't. It didn't translate to every team like Lou,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Sweet Lou did though. But
yeah.
it,
True. True
that,
indeed.
yeah,
True
yeah.
indeed. True
No,
indeed.
no, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Lewis.
the
But
what
yeah, it was go ahead.
I was gonna say, the one of the things
You
that's
said it's
huh that's one of the things that is
no, go
not
ahead.
one of the things that's not that I'm not really too surprised about that hasn't changed is the front office. Is the front office. I'll say the front office is the one thing that I knew was gonna stay the same, and I'm like, all right, y'all still tripping to this day. But the one thing I didn't know was when Jordan was a rookie, and he went to, I guess he was a rookie, and he was trying to find out what all that noise was, and then I guess all the vets were like were doing cocaine and drinking alcohol or whatever with a bunch of hookers or whatever, and then
I was talking about in the hotel.
yeah, in the hotel.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that one I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that. he said no, or is he just telling us he said no? That's one of the things I was like, oh, okay, all right,
Yeah,
Oh
that's
all
god.
right,
just
Jordan.
that's
Nah,
yeah.
MJ wasn't doing that. Now, if anything, I mean, you can't say what a person would do who weren't there, but if there's anybody, I don't think Michael Jordan. I believe him when he said when MJ says no. You got to
Yeah.
think about the dedication. You know, he was real careful. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the guys who are the best, man, they pay attention to their
Mm-hmm.
body. I don't think MJ in there sitting there doing no blow, man. So
I ain't saying he was in there doing no blow or smoking weed, but I know he had a couple drinks before he left though.
he
Some
said he had a
cognac,
couple
you know what I'm
drinks.
saying?
He
He
had a
said
couple drinks before he
he
left.
he said he was good on it.
Nah, he probably was. I believe it because I
There were
believe it.
Orlando Woodridge and all them.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if George Gervin was with. Where was he at? You know, George Gervin was on them teams then.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe him now. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, I think he was a little bit more grounded, understanding. He had just came in the league. You know what I'm
Yeah, he was a
saying?
rookie.
So I believe.
He didn't come from that type of environment either.
Yeah. Yeah. So I believe him. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think. I mean, uh, in his own way, like Jordan was always a loner. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just because he had that drive. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't want to necessarily, mess with. He didn't want to overindulge in none of that type of stuff anyway. You know what I'm saying? Not at that time. I mean, obviously, he picked up some bad habits along the way, but I mean, we all can't be. None of us can be perfect. So I ain't mad at him. It's something, but them eyes was killing me though, boy. I said, man, why his eyes look like that?
He said Jordan.
So that cognac.
I'm like, Jordan been drinking too much.
Yeah.
Man, that is.
His
Yeah, he
eyes
do got
out
them
there.
drinking.
That's that cognac.
He do got them drinking. That man a little too much, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man, a little bit too much E&J.
That's what you expect, man. If you ever man want to see how bad, man, you see the '70s in the NBA, man. That was the I was surprised about that because the shit, man. It was everybody was on cocaine and drugs and
Uh-huh.
shit.
Yeah.
'70s, early '80s. So around that time, especially when got started having guys like Lynn Bias when he passed away, man. That they had to lock down, man. That's when they
Mm-hmm.
really started, David Stern and them really started locking down on those type of stuff and trying to crack
Uh-huh.
down on the drug use. Remember, Michael Ray Richardson? That's the shit that sidelined his career. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
it was, they had to lock down on that, man. But
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
definitely, man, that shit. That was a normal thing. They was all up in there. Remember the Boston
Everybody.
Garden, man? The Boston Garden, man. You ever look at the old stuff and you see it looks all cloudy in the Boston Garden in the '80s.
Uh-huh.
Everybody was in that motherfucker smoking cigars and shit, man. All that smoke just raising in the top, and they in there balling in that shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, that's true, man. That's true. That was just kind of the norm back then. You know what I'm saying? That was just kind of the norm. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yep.
Uh, so let me ask this. As Randy, you can chime in on this too. You know what I'm saying? Since you've been following the Bulls since you was in them huggies. Uh, so what are you most looking forward to in the next? I say just the whole thing. Like, what are you most looking forward to? Are you looking forward to them going deeper into anything, or are you hoping that they go deeper into anything specific, or
I'm
what?
hoping I'm hoping that they go deeper into the front office. You know what I'm saying? Because quiet as kept, there's always been a struggle between the staff and the front office. This entire time the Bulls have been in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
it's always been a struggle
Oh, they
between
will.
the front office and not even just the players, but just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I want more in depth in that. I also want to hear about, you know what I'm saying. I know because Michael Jordan had a temper, and Michael Jordan would swing on a couple of his teammates every now and again. I want to hear all the stories, all the little stories that aren't told. And I honestly, one thing I really truthfully want to hear is that conspiracy theory was, you know what I'm saying, that did his dad really get killed by the mafia because of gambling debts? Because we all know Michael had
Nah,
a gambling problem.
you won't hear
You know
none
what
of that.
I'm
You
saying?
you won't hear
But
none of that.
that's what I
Yeah, they're
want to
not
hear.
gonna
You know
talk.
what I'm
They're
saying?
not gonna talk. They're not gonna talk about it. Now
Like allegedly.
he did. He took that hiatus when he it wasn't this retirement. He wasn't tired. Like they was gonna
Mm-hmm.
suspend him.
Yep.
They
Hmm.
was investigating
Gambling.
for
Yep.
gambling and everything. They were going to suspend him. So he was just like, "Fuck it, take don't want to take a hit to your legacy and the way you viewed. So might as well
Hmm.
just take some time off." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Yeah,
and respect to Stern for allowing him to do that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause they still could have came out with the information, you know what I'm saying? But Stern had enough respect for him to be like, all right, man, go ahead and get up out of here and go play t-ball for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know the way the perception and everything that plays into a lot of things, especially when it comes to stuff like MVP voting. That's why
Hmm.
Kobe didn't win more than one. Kobe really should have had about
Oh yeah.
guaranteed three MVPs, but because of that case in Colorado, they like, nah, we can't do that. Gotta wait a
Yeah,
little while, man. Yeah.
yeah. Corey, you looking forward to anything?
Um, man, they show these youngsters, man, how tough the triangle offense is, man, and why we and like I said, once I think LeBron's better than Jordan. You know what I'm saying? You can think that, but when you start trying to introduce stats and different things like that, it's like you can't inflate stats in the triangle.
Yeah, nah, I'm a LeBron fan, you know what I'm saying, but I would never put him over Jordan, but
Yeah.
I'm a LeBron fan. He goes on my Mount Rushmore of basketball players, you know what I'm saying? So, but I would never ever
I
put
don't
him
know
over
about I don't
Jordan
know
though.
about that. But all right.
But
I
yeah,
don't know, man.
I never put him over Jordan. Like, I mean, you can raise a lot of arguments about, statistically players are statistically better than Jordan, but what Jordan did for basketball, what I'm saying, the brand of basketball is like it'll never be replicated again. It'll never be replicated again. And the interesting part was that like Jordan wasn't uh like it didn't really seem like he tried. It was just who he was. You know what I'm saying? Like the long shorts, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just how he wore his shorts. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to wear his short. You know what I'm saying? So he wore them like that, and that, between that and the Fab Five, down there in Michigan. I mean, that changed the game. That changed the way the players, you know what I'm saying, wore their uniform. Just little stuff like that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Little stuff that was done without really any thought. It was just this is just who I am. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? I think the small things are the other things that made Jordan Jordan too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we'll definitely after every episodes that air, y'all stay tuned in because we're gonna continue to get feedback, our opinions and views about what was shown. I'm sure we'll dig more specifically as they dig more specifically into certain things, and obviously, we'll touch on all the hot topics that come up as a result of what they decide that they or what Jordan decided he was gonna allow them to, what I'm saying, put out there. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Because for those that don't know, nah, seriously, for those that don't know, uh, the camera crew during that season was pretty much ran by Jordan. You know what I'm saying? He allowed them in when he wanted to. He told them they couldn't come when he didn't want them in there and things of that nature. So, a lot of control by MJ, but he proved to be he proved to be good enough for all of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
He earned it. He
yeah,
sure, he
Yeah,
sure as hell earned it.
sure
yeah.
did.
You know what I'm saying? So just stay tuned for more. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned for more of this. Like I said, it looks like the shows are going to be airing 2 episodes every Sunday night. Is what it's looking like. So
They
just
gonna
stay
they
tuned.
they gonna milk this, man.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Oh
They gonna
yeah.
milk this,
yeah,
stretch this,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, and
God
if
damn.
y'all didn't get a chance to watch it, hey, they re-airing it the whole week. So you know what I'm saying. Check it out. Drop a comment. In the on a drop a comment in the thread. Let us know. Something that you took that we didn't talk about. You know what I'm saying. And maybe we'll bring it up on the next episode. So stay tuned for more. This is your boys. From the word on the Ave. But tonight we're doing a sports thing. So Grit Sports Media. Y'all be sure to like and follow both pages. Word on the Ave and Grit Sports Media. Follow both pages. Because we bring in commentary from multiple subject matters from different angles just to give you a overall uh, perspective, So stay tuned. Until next time, man, we see y'all. Thanks for rocking with us. We holla.